In this video, we will name the worst signing of the season so far.
United are the issue, not their players.
But I did expect, in terms of...
That PE teacher's the issue, not Cunha.
The system, the players, the selection is all very strange.
Amrin been slot out.
Well,
ultimate reality.
So,
Backing an inept manager.
yeah, but that's your opinion.
Yeah, I can only ever give everything. You
Absolutely.
don't have to give because everything is my opinion.
But
I only
you're
have
saying it
that.
like fact.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
saying like Ruben Amorim
yeah.
factually is a rubbish manager.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to WHFC, brought to you by Final One Standing, football's ultimate free-to-play eliminator game, which has an all-new boosted jackpot of £200,000. On this episode, we're playing a game of Final One Standing to work out who has been the worst signing of the summer so far. Right, what's happening, gentlemen? Into the deep end, going for the jugular, we are going to announce who is the worst signing of the summer so far. There are some obvious standout candidates, and the way that we're going to work it out is via the usual standard of process of elimination. The two names that we're going to start with are Jeremie Frimpong and Milos Kerkez. And talking of the worst signing that anyone could make, we will go to newcomer to WHFC, Tom Garrett.
Such obvious comedy, isn't it? Really?
I'm not trying to be original.
He's got to have his. I think so far, Kerkez has been pants, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, rubbish. But I think people do forget, he was good at Bournemouth, right? But did we watch every game of Bournemouth? Was he scrutinised at Bournemouth like he is at Liverpool? So we don't actually know how good he was in comparison to now, because it's such a step up going from like Bournemouth, 10,000 fans a week, where people only watch you on Match of the Day, to now everyone watches his every move at Liverpool. He's getting dragged at half time. I think I'm surprised. I thought he'd do better, but I'm also not surprised because of the step up. Like, Liverpool are a massive club, like to go and play for.
I get that, but he was really good.
He was good. He was
one of the
good,
best
yeah.
defenders in the league.
Yeah.
100%.
For 2 seasons as well.
He was very, very good. The issue is the Liverpool system doesn't make sense with both the fullbacks, let alone one of them.
Yeah.
You look at what those players do on the pitch. They're both very much wide players that want to attack the wide areas. Liverpool last season were playing with their wingers wide. So what was the thinking behind it? You could put both of these signings actually as the worst signings of the window, because neither of them fit the system of what Arne Slot wants to build. Fits Jurgen Klopp down to a T.
Frimpong ruined Salah. I remember the Community Shield. He was just taking all his space up, and it was like Salah didn't know where to go, did he? He was kind of like in no man's land. But I think Frimpong's been better. I know he's been injured and he's missed a few games, but Kerkez looks.
I think they're both.
Robertson should start. That's how bad he's. That's how
That's
bad
what
he's
it's coming
been.
back round to now. I think they've both been poor, but the platform I have to look at. And Frimpong's shoes to fill were a lot greater than what Kerkez came in to fill, because listen, Robertson on his trajectory is down slope and he's getting on. So he was expected to come in and hit the ground running. Premier League, he's been here a couple of years, whereas Frimpong's coming in completely different to Trent. So I think they've both been poor, but I think one weighs heavier, and that's Kerkez.
Yeah.
He's been in the league. He's
More minutes, more appearances, more time on a pitch.
How detrimental do you think these fullbacks are to what's going on at Liverpool? Like, if you try and pinpoint why it's been so shocking.
90% is that.
Really?
Yeah.
So what, you think if Slot can get
Because
the fullback
it's
situation solved-
even exposing Kanai, who I thought I still think he's a really good defender, but I'd have put Kanai on like a Gabriel level, like last season, but now you'd go, obviously Gabriel's better, but it's because he's being exposed. Like, even Van Dijk's had his wobbles this season, who's probably the best defender in the world. That those two are killing them. Like, even Bradley's been poor and he's come in.
But it's the midfield is the biggest issue. At times you watch Liverpool and the midfielders move away from midfield. So when the centre halves have got it, and Konate's look bad, especially against Crystal Palace, there's no one to pass to. Gravenberch's moved into midfield. McAllister's having to pull left to cover Kerkez. It's really, really odd.
That's
right
what I
now.
mean. So it stems from the fullbacks, though.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Trent was in there last year, and that's been the biggest problem for Liverpool. Everyone thought, oh no, we'll lose Trent, we'll replace. Are you joking? He's probably the best right back in Premier League history.
Does this show that he is or was their most important player as well? Because listen, the talk towards the end of last season is these 3 big contracts are running down. We have to keep Salah, Van Dijk. They're the top end of the game. But losing a Trent has impacted the midfield, because Wirtz as well, who I'm sure is going to come up in this system. If he doesn't, then we need to have a look. But, the whole system has had to change because of that one profile missing. So was he the most important player?
What are we saying here? Are we saying that if Arne Slot can sort out the fullback issue, then Liverpool are a juggernaut again?
No, because
I think so.
Taking Trent out causes ripples across the pitch.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So fixing the Trent issue, because you can't get another Trent. So there is no other Trent in the world.
Could Frimpong not become another Trent, but he could become...
No.
a solution.
But Wirtz has to step up as well.
They're completely different profiles. That's the problem.
So do you not think that Frimpong will thrive in this Liverpool team at all? You think this is a bad
I
sign?
honestly think it could end up that they change a system where they don't play with wingers.
It would have
Maybe two
worked.
up front.
It would have worked if they bought in Gurhey at the end of the window. I think that works because he could play left back or right back, and then you've got a three. You know, in terms of building from that shape. Frimpong can play high like he did at Leverkusen. Salah naturally can be more inside. Where at the moment, when you look at it, sometimes Bradley will receive the ball and Salah's like you said before, it's the space, or he's inside and Bradley's putting the ball in the box, and it's not the quality of Trent.
Exactly.
They need a 6 as well. They need a defensive midfielder.
Well, their best right back's been Szoboszlai, but then you take him out the midfield when he's been brilliant in midfield. It's like, I can't believe they're still, second, third?
Yeah,
it's
second
amazing
right
they're actually still up there with how bad they've been. I don't think they've played one good game, Liverpool.
No.
From my memory.
Do you subscribe to the theory, though, if you can be this high and this good in terms of results when you're bad, that when it clicks, you're going to win the league?
I don't know, because I'd rather be Arsenal at the minute, like the guaranteed performances and solid. Liverpool I don't trust Liverpool. They've got United this weekend, right? And I don't trust them to win that game just based on how they play. They will, because United are so bad, but would you trust them?
No.
I think they beat United, but I know what you mean. The fact that there's jeopardy, it's not
Palace
afraid-
battered them, battered them, by the way. It wasn't even like a close. They could have been 4-0 up half
So did we.
time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you deservedly beat them. You shouldn't be deservedly beating Liverpool, in my opinion, based on the players and the money they've spent. But
And who's to say it does click? That is the big
exactly,
question.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
this
there's no
is Klopp's
solution at the
first
moment.
big. It was a big challenge coming in to replace Klopp, but there was always that not free hit season.
Well,
because you've come out
100%
of the
it was,
league,
100%
But now
it was,
you've won
yeah.
the league in your first year. There is no more
and spent all
transition.
this money. Now it's
Expectation.
okay. Well, you definitely should win it now.
Okay, so cards on the table. Jeremie Frimpong or Milos Kerkez? Who has been a worse signing? We'll start with you, Tom.
Kerkez.
Dave?
Yeah, Kerkez.
Kerkez.
Full house, Kerkez. Which means Kerkez progresses to our next round, and the waiting challenger.
You've been rubbish, right? Who are you up against next, dude? Even more rubbish.
We're going right for the jugular. Okay, next up, it's Jamie Gittens.
I think he's.
Yeah, but
you watch Chelsea every week. I don't.
But
see
Tom,
it.
it's
I
the
don't
least
understand.
controversial thing that you've ever said because he is because he's not really supposed to be good. It's a weird thing to say, but I genuinely mean it. He hasn't been signed.
Very weird thing to say. Yeah, go on.
What do you think then? The reason that we signed him isn't for him to enhance our first team.
Why
We haven't
not?
bought.
What have you bought him for then?
We've bought him because he will hopefully increase in revenue in money. His value will go up. Like when the transfer window was open, we had a bit of a disaster in it, right? Levi Colwill, who embarrassingly is our best centre half, he got injured, and we went right. Okay, let's spend some money.
Yeah.
What we could have done is go out and maybe buy Mark Gahey. We still had Sanchez in goal, who's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what we could have done is spend 70 million quid, and you bring in Mark Gahey, you bring in Donnarumma, and maybe you're talking about Chelsea as outsiders for the title. What we did, off the back of Colwill getting injured, is we went, right, Garnacho and Buonanotte. You're like, wait, what? We've got no centre-halves. What are you doing? We've got the worst keeper in the league. What are you doing? We're signing players not for the enhancement of the first team, not for the furtherance of the first team. We're signing players who will hopefully, from the board's perspective,
Sell
in
on
this
value.
model, sell on value. Because even if it goes badly, you see when you sign a player like Garnacho, Jamie Gittens, let's say it goes well, they become worth 70, 80, 90 million pounds and you double your money on them.
Mm-hmm.
Say it goes badly.
They're
They're
still
young enough to be worth what you paid.
So then, when does it flip to focusing on winning then?
We're not doing that. We're not trying to build a team to win the league. We're not trying to build a team to compete.
So what are you? So it's
We're
just,
a money-making model. We're a business.
complete
It's horrific. I hate the words I'm saying.
But surely you're not just buying a player for that. There's someone's gone in the club and gone, that guy has got some level of potential before buying him,
yeah.
which Jeremie Gittens did have at Borussia Dortmund.
It's
Not a terrible footballer. It's a footballer that needs a lot of coaching, needs a lot of work. And again, he's very young.
Okay.
He's played 161 minutes for you this season,
but they're
which is
terrible
hard. But then again, it's with flow with football, you've got to play week in, week out, and you've got to grow, right? He's not even had any opportunity to do that.
I know, but he's not even showing.
Okay.
it.
Say you use this as a justification then for the model. What do you think of this? Chelsea sell Noni Madueke, and you're like, right, Noni Madueke's going to go. I can kind of live with that. If you want to win the league, you sell Madueke, and what do? You buy Eze. If you don't want to win the league and you want to make money, you sell Madueke and you buy Gittens, the next Madueke. You make money on Madueke, you then buy the next Madueke.
But does that eliminate him from the flop argument? Like, it just sounds like...
he can still, I think, Turkish, that we can still say that Jamie Gittens has been a terrible signing because we're football fans. We're not looking at it through the business model.
You're just explaining the model.
The model. I mean,
And I agree with
model,
that.
yeah.
I do. Outside looking in, even, there was some Chelsea fans that entertained being an outside title challenger. I looked at your business and said,
Yeah.
You're not
You
trying
know,
to win the
across-
league with these signings. You're not. Mark Gahey, Donnarumma, Eberechi Eze, Chelsea want to win the league. That's an Abramovich window.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's
One
where
or
the-
not
where
a
the club's
Garnacho.
changed.
Like Garnacho was what they keep talking. Like Chelsea's board keep talking about market opportunities.
Yeah.
Jamie
But
Gittens
you have to do that now because you don't have the money that Abramovich brought. That's kind of the long-term strategy for it. You can't go out and go, we're going to try and win the league this season, because then the whole model that you've built to spend all this cash falls out.
You do sell really well as well, actually.
Yeah, we make
to be
money,
fair. You
but that's
make, like,
again
some of
that's the
sa-
thing.
I couldn't believe
But
some of the
Jamie
sales you've
Gittens,
made.
we're all football fans, and the majority of people, well, I imagine everybody watching this video is a football fan. If we're looking at Jamie Gittens through the lens strictly of football, not business, woeful signing.
From what I've seen so far, I
Then
like,
again, you've like the whole thing is have you watched him at Borussia Dortmund? Watched him before?
yeah, but we're not
there's
basing it on that. We're
but,
basing
but
it
that's
on
what I mean.
Chelsea.
But then that's basing it on how many games we played this season. We played, hardly. It's just one of those things where I think there's a
It's
player.
harsh.
There's a player inside there. You're being a bit over harsh on him as a footballer.
It's a harsh video, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
the
it
worst
is
signing.
harsh. That's the whole base.
Yeah.
But do you see
But
like
I would put Kerkez in a worse signing than Jamie Gittens right now. That's what I
might
would
be
put
the
on the
one.
point.
probably say that's your biggest win so far this season.
In terms of the status of what it meant, Liverpool win.
And I do think Gittens was part of that. I think Maresca's subs for the last 20 minutes because
Yeah, he
Garnacho
was good,
and
actually.
Neto
Maresca's
were
good.
getting into
But
a
then
lot.
what about
They were
Maresca?
getting into
Not
a lot of
Gittens.
space, but they weren't doing anything with it. Esteval and Gittens come on, and then you get a goal out of it. You was penetrating the box a bit more. I'm not saying it was an amazing cameo, but it was part of your biggest win so far this season. Whereas Kerkez,
Yeah.
And
I
I guess the stakes are bigger at Liverpool. That's the other
Yeah.
thing as well. Like Kerkez, if it doesn't work, we've just established that Kerkez could cost them the league. Not him specifically, but the position.
came into
and
a
the
settled
The feeling around it, yeah,
Jamie
100%.
Gittens isn't going to cost Chelsea anything.
No, it's a lack. It's like you said, even though whether it's potential or not, it's a lack of impact of a signing in terms of it doesn't really matter. You've got enough players to replace him that can play that position.
So it's potentially still Kerkez.
Kerkez worse so far.
Kerkez worse.
100%. Like Dave said, there isn't enough time really on Gittens, but from what I've seen,
which is fully fine, but it's like
Yeah, absolutely.
What time?
Okay, I think we're unified again that Kerkez is worse than Gittens.
I'd vote
Full
for
house
Kerkez.
again.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
harmonious, lads. Right, we're going to take a quick break from the episode to make our final one standing picks for this weekend. The jackpot is £200,000 and you have until 3 p.m. this Saturday to make your selections. Tom Garrett, we're going to start with you, sir.
I think I might choose Sunderland to beat the pub team, Wolves.
Statman Dave?
Manchester United to beat Liverpool away at Anfield.
Costing people money, sir.
I just think there's an opportunity here. Crystal Palace look very, very good against Liverpool. Manchester United are improving.
Fair play. Turkish?
I hope he's right, but I'm going Liverpool. Win-win. If Liverpool win, I'm through. If Liverpool lose, Arsenal are looking good.
It means you freed up Arsenal, which means I'm going to go for Arsenal to beat Fulham. Okay, so those are our picks. Now it's over to you. Remember, Final One Standing's £200,000 jackpot game is live to absolutely everyone. Whether you're still in the 500k game or if you've been knocked out or even if you've never played before. Click the QR code on screen or the link in the video description to enter. Best of luck. Next up then is Kerkez versus Matheus Cunha.
No. I mean, I can say it all now because you don't play for the Dingles anymore. But Cunha's great. Like, he's fine. Like, United are the issue, not their players.
But I did expect in terms of...
That PE teacher's the issue, not
Mate,
Cunha.
I think Cunha is class. I think he's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant. I expected loads from him.
Mate, he was amazing against Arsenal first
Yeah, it was
game.
quality, then he got
was
injured.
Unreal.
So, like, you look at it, again, we're looking at it from a position of he played really well in the games that he's played.
Yeah.
Got injured. And he's fine. The issue around it, though, is what United have done with the business, right? It's stupid. I said it before. You bought 3 forwards. You've already got 2 players that can play as a left number 10 in Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Imad can play inside. And
One
you
of
don't...
them your best player as well, isn't that? He's been
You keep Joshua Zirkzee. It's just like, again, it's a window that's rubbish. And that's why we look at Cunha and go, oh, wait a minute, is that a bad signing? But it's not, because he's a wonderful footballer and will be very good at Man United. But the issue is, why?
The thing is, any Man United player that we discuss, it just always comes back to Amorim being totally inept.
But then you look at Amorim, right? And he's a manager that is... So it's different this season. It still is. We are better at home, which is a massive, massive change from last season where we were rubbish away and at home. There's an improvement there.
Are you still on the Amorim hype train?
Amorim will come good at United, honestly.
Do you really think that?
Yeah, just wait.
Mate, well, I mean, this is amazing. Do you genuinely...
So you look at football from a player perspective, right? Which is the most important thing. Coach can do what they want. Man United's squad is still rubbish. It's massively unbalanced still.
But it's not as rubbish
No,
as the league table suggests.
But we're 10th in the league.
Yeah, well, also
again,
also,
last season we were 15th. It was awful.
Yeah, okay, but he was also the manager last season.
From November when they should have brought him in at the end of the season, which is independent.
He was also the manager
there
that
is
lost the European final.
There's an improvement of what Man United, how they're playing this season. There is an improvement with the central midfield United currently have, which is utter rubbish.
I'm fascinated by it, like genuinely, because this is quite rare. And from my vision of watching Man United,
But also, Rory, you do have midfield options that aren't rubbish.
You don't have to
chooses
play
to play your best player in centre mid.
Your two best players last year, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, playing them both out of position.
Amad Diallo played right wing back for Amarin. He's played really well this season.
No, that isn't the point. That's not his best position, though, is it?
In your opinion, in my opinion, he's absolutely.
But don't you think?
No, do you think that's his best position?
In this system, it's his best position.
But Diallo.
No, you can't do that.
You're asking me. You're asking me.
What's Diallo?
Okay, cool. So Man United win the league when they play 4-2-3-1 this season. Utter. You watch him under Eric Ten Hag?
Yeah, you'd be better. You haven't got the players to play the system.
We haven't got the players to play any system. Is my point.
Come on,
What system? What system?
You've got decent players. United have some good players.
There are decent players in the.
Yoro's a good player. Delict's a good player. Dorgu's decent. Dallo's decent. Kobe Mainoo's a good player. Bruno Fernandes is a really good player.
That's the key, yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Cunha's a good player. And Mbeumo's a good player. Sesko looks okay. I don't know.
The idea of building, like the issue with that,
Diallo's a great player.
independent whatever system you play, you've got too many attackers, not enough midfielders, and the back four's rubbish.
So then why are you playing 5 defenders when you've got no defenders?
Because it looks like a 3, right, when they're in possession.
Sorry, beef.
that's a beat.
Yeah. I mean, we're going off topic, but that is fascinating.
Man United will be much better than they were last season.
But
again, going back to the boring
rock
stuff.
bottom under the same manager.
Yeah, but underlying data this season was so much better, and it's
He was
important.
sackable. He should have been sacked
In your opinion,
He should have been back.
if you continue the Man United cycle of sacking players, player power over and over again, how many players are still in the squad that have
But
seen
backing
4
a
or 5
wrong
managers?
manager, backing an inept manager.
Yeah, but that's your opinion.
Yeah, I can only ever give everything. You
Absolutely.
don't have to because everything is my opinion. I only
You're
have
saying it like fact. You're saying like Ruben Amorim factually is a rubbish manager, which is a load of rubbish.
Yeah, but he is factually your worst manager ever.
At this point, yeah.
In your opinion.
That's a fact.
But what I'm saying is there's still time in a tenure to improve the team, and they're improving.
You're talking like your Burnley. You're Man United. You haven't won 2 games in a row under him.
Yeah, but the whole thing with Man United right now is that's where we're at.
You're not though. You've got good players.
But that's where we're at.
It's not
it
knitted
doesn't
together
matter
well
about the
enough.
players. It's the whole club.
But it's not being knit together, and Amarim's the guy for that. Like, for example, we bigged up Diallo here. I think Diallo's stepping all over Mbeumo's toes in the final third. In the
Against
transition.
Sunderland, they look great.
I mean, that's a
you've gotta
one-off.
Again, we're like 7 games in,
don't think
right? And you're saying that 2 players.
50 games into Amorim.
Yeah, but 2 players that have played together for this season, and Brian Mbeumo and Amad, looked fantastic together against Sunderland. And it takes time for partnerships to
But
develop.
don't you think they're the same
It's
profile?
not instant.
They're the same profile.
They're different, very different players.
From Diallo coming through last season, I looked at him as an Mbeumo type of right winger cutting in.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So Cunha.
all of this is to
Dave,
say-
Dave, we will get into
All
this.
of this is
We will get into this at some point, certainly on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. But for now, let's focus. Matheus Cunha or Kerkez? Who is a worse signing? Kerkez.
Kerkez.
Right. That means that we are now on to Milos Kerkez versus Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what? I like things I see from Wirtz, but it is bad, isn't it? How much money they've spent on him and how bad he's been. Like, I see flashes, but he's flashes enough for the money they've spent, and I think he does deserve time, and I think he gets in some really good positions, and I do think it's the speed of the league. I think he's not used to. He takes too many touches sometimes, but I see the flick against you to Salah.
That was amazing. That was amazing. You know, if
I
Salah
see
drills that
things,
into
and
the
I'm
back
like,
of the net.
and I'm like, now I see why he's
Mate,
got
if
this
Salah-
reputation.
if Salah-
Can we
that-
have-
that pirouette move? If that ends up in the back of the net, which 90% of the time Salah drills into the back of the net, we're going now. So, assist to the summer, assist to the winner.
And I do think Kerkez hurts the team more than Wirtz does. Probably because of his position. That's natural. Defenders, obviously, if they're bad, usually at least a goal or whatever. But I think Wirtz will come good.
Do you know what a crucial
I'm not sure about
differentiator is here?
Kerkez.
A crucial differentiator is one player has played at least 2 full seasons in the Premier League. The other player has played 7 games.
Brand new, yeah.
But one player's worth 130 million and one player's not.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, outside of that moment, which I agree, I remember that moment, you remember it. Name me another Wirtz moment this whole season.
He played well in the Community Shield, but it's Community Shield, isn't it? But I think, I don't know, It depends how we want to look at this. I think if we just go on their performances, Kerkez has been worse. But do we weigh in the fact he was treble the price?
Well, you can't ignore that, right?
Yeah.
You can't 007.
And he's been dropped twice. He's been subbed off early games.
I just don't think he knows what football is here yet. Like, there was a moment against Chelsea, right, where Caicedo sort of takes the ball off him, and he's asking for a foul. And you're like, mate, that is that is just not a foul. And it's kind of like, that is just not a foul, mate. Like, you can't appeal for it. It's not one of those, oh, well, I appeal for everything. It's like, that isn't even worthy of an appeal here. It's almost like he's not part
And
of
also, do you know what's killed him a little bit? How quickly Ekitike's come in and played well. Same league. So it's like, well, he hasn't got that excuse. So,
yeah.
But Salah's been bad as well. So they haven't been great in general, Liverpool.
It's the difference between scoring a goal from like outside the box, like we've seen with Ekitike, and not doing it with Florian Wirtz. And I think there is some similarities and differences with when Kai Havertz joined Chelsea, where the speed wasn't right from at all, especially at the start of the tenure. Just didn't. Everything was too quick for him. And now we see Kai Havertz being absolutely jacked. He's built like a Premier League player, and Florian Wirtz is very lightweight. But he is a very good player, and I think that's the side of it as well. Is the system doesn't make sense for him. It doesn't make sense for the two fullbacks. I don't think it makes sense for him because, like you said before, Dominic Szoboszlai would probably be the starting attacking midfielder. That's where Florian Wirtz should be playing, not from the left-hand side. You look at this. You look at a lot of things with Xabi Alonso's side, and it just got the best out of him. Receiving to feet, drive through, make things happen.
Listen to this, right? This really shocked me because from the outside looking in at Liverpool, I just think the answer to every problem that Liverpool have is Mohamed Salah. Like, whatever the question, Mohamed Salah's the answer. That's what I truly believe. After the Chelsea game, I was on air. I was talking to Liverpool fans, phoning up. I counted, right? 10 Liverpool fans phoned up, including Paddy Pimlet. To a man, they all went, drop Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Why have you watched him this season?
My logic, which you clearly disagree with, my logic is there are certain players at certain clubs, for example, Dennis Bergkamp, however badly he was playing, however long he went without goal, you don't drop him. Frank Lampard, however badly he went, Jason Kumas, however long he went without a goal, right? Right. Do you see what I mean, right? Everyone's got their heroes and everyone's got their sort of linchpins. And I think Mohamed Salah is part of that club, the Kumas, Lampard, Bergkamp, Rooney club, right?
I'm thinking of a player.
He weren't better than Kumas. Can we just get that out there?
But do you know what I mean? My logic, and which you clearly disagree with, but my logic is he's iconic and therefore doesn't get dropped.
Yeah, and I think that could, yet again, like he does most seasons, come good. But it does catch up with everyone time, and he isn't going to score these goals like for the rest of his life. It will stop at some point. Maybe that's this season. You don't know. I'd never bet against Salah, but I think at the minute he's trying too hard a bit. Like Chelsea, some of the shots he was taking on second half against Chelsea, I was like, he wouldn't usually do that. He'd pop it off for like a 1-2 or something. He's like taking wild shots.
But he needs that. Like, finished off the season in pretty bad form. You know, he would have broken records if he continued at the pace.
As soon as he got the contract, he stopped playing.
But then, so that's it. Time and a contract. Yeah. It's massive. We don't discount that fact that he's kind of like signed for life now, and he's set.
Also, this isn't very. The way Salah has been playing is how Salah always plays. He just usually covers it up with a goal and assist, which is most weeks.
First few games.
Last season, he was more impactful, I think, with the ball at his feet. His assist numbers alone, you know, he was better.
Did you see the assist he got this season from the free kick for Robertson?
Yeah, garbage, isn't it?
That's a Salah assist.
No, but it's not. You got Salah moments where he's done something absolute mad on the right wing and made something for Liverpool. You can't ignore that. He's bounced. He's saying he's a bad player. He's got ball control.
And then
he did have to refresh that Jeremie Gittens thing. If that's how you think Mohamed Salah plays football,
he did reinvent it because there was a time maybe 2.5 years ago, a lot of us thought that he's on the way down. He reinvented himself.
He became a much better creator, didn't he?
All-round player. So it's on him as well to reinvent a little bit more. You've got that big contract.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting older.
What's your predictions
work
for
with the
Salah
people
then?
around you.
Okay, let's pretend that we're at the end of the season. Not necessarily who wins the league or anything like that. But are we looking at Salah going, money well spent, he's going to be brilliant again next year, he found his form, he rediscovered himself, he reimagined himself, or do you think that there's something more severe going on?
I wouldn't say severe. But I'd say maybe we've seen...
It's a severe drop-off.
Maybe we've seen the last 20-goal season from him, I'd say. But I don't think that's severe because what he'd done last season, at the age he'd done it, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like he nearly broke Henry's 0-2-0-3 record 2020. Only Messi's done that in world football. So he was close to that great... Well, he's great. He's greatness already. But... yeah, I just think he's pulled that out the bag last season, got his contract, and now...
He's done it for 7-8 years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think my prediction would be he has an average season for him.
15 Premier League goals.
15, 16 goals, then he goes to Saudi.
Yeah.
And from the wing, that's still 15, 16. You'd all want...
If your predictions are right...
But he won't be dropped.
If your predictions are right, the ramifications of that, I think Liverpool don't win the league.
100%, yeah.
If your predictions are right,
Unless
I
they
don't
copy
agree with
him.
your predictions, but
I'd like him to see Ekatike and Isak up front, personally.
really.
But then it's inventing a new...
See, but it's baffled. Can you play a completely different system now?
These are the elite of the elite football. I hate how, like, we talk about, like, these systems and stuff, and it's, oh, God, how can the players deal with it? Like, these are the best footballers in the world. They've grown up playing different styles and systems. I think they can adapt to playing a slightly different system, which they train every day on.
So what, Ekatike and Isak up front as the two?
Yeah, and then maybe a diamond with Kerkez and Frimpong bombing on. I don't see why that couldn't work at Liverpool, but I'm not a manager.
Maybe you should be, mate. This is
Wow,
great stuff.
Yeah. But then I think with that, you keep Szoboszlai in midfield. McAllister's been poor, though, as well this season, so there's been a few at Liverpool that haven't been great.
So with regard to Wirtz, what about with him? Do you think he finds form? Do you think ultimately he's a success at Liverpool?
Ultimately, yeah. This season, though.
What, you think it's a bad season
He'll
altogether?
have a bad season this season because he needs to adapt to the Premier League, as we mentioned. Many examples of attackers coming, Jadon Sancho, as we mentioned before. But he is a very, very talented footballer that will adapt at some point. And again, it's about what happens post Salah. That probably should have happened this year versus next season in terms of moving him on and changing the structure.
Yeah.
I don't think Arne Slot's going to be the guy to see the best of Florian Wirtz. I think Arne Slot won't be Liverpool manager by that point.
Oh wow.
And I don't think there's a point where that fully clicks.
Really?
I just don't know if the system, the players, the selection is all very strange.
Amrin in slot out.
Well,
Ultimate
if you
reality.
look, so from a serious perspective, right? If you look at the signings Liverpool made this summer, if they bought Gyokeres, if they got one of their targets they wanted, they bought 2 flying wing backs. They've bought Florian Wirtz that plays inside. They've got players that could play in the midfield too, and Mohamed Salah could maybe play narrow, and they've also got Ekatike.
Yeah.
It seems like that works a lot better than what they're doing right now, which is chaos football. The organisation is absolutely shot.
I haven't seen enough from Wirtz to say he's ever gonna. You know, it's only 7 league games. It's early on, but I agree with you. Maybe it's not Slot that finds it, and that's mad to say because he's the defending champ of the Premier League. But I haven't seen anything from Wirtz to say he's gonna turn the corner. So for now, in my opinion,
very weird experience for me this because I'm not being a reactionary one. I don't quite know how to react. I don't.
I find Liverpool really interesting this season. Like, I think from the like black and white, you'd go, well, they've won the league. They've spent all this money on great players. They'll just piss the league. But it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't work like
it really don't work. It will test Slot. Because obviously he was great last season, but City were poor and Arsenal were poor in the league as well.
The league was poor.
Did they kind of just win it by default?
Do you think is this also an opportunity for this to be the reality as well? So it's been a little bit hit and miss. It hasn't quite clicked. We're going to come back off the international break. Arne Slot will have sprinkled his version of Stardust. Mohamed Salah hits the ground running off the back of this break. Suddenly, Alexander Isak is scoring goals for fun. Ekatike is doing his bit from the bench and Florian Wirtz finds his form. Liverpool win
that's
the
an
league.
ideal world, but you're forgetting how's Ekatike going to react when Isak starting every week and dropping stinkers? Because I know he's not fully fit, but dropping stinkers and Ekatike is going, well, I'm scoring every week. What's going on here? You got that going on. Salah's dropping stinkers and then people aren't playing over him. You got McAllister not. It doesn't work like that when you've got. It's going to affect the team morale, team players who are looking at it going, why aren't I playing then? When he's dropping.
And Liverpool
4 out
doesn't
of
look
10.
like a tweak problem. It looks like a personnel issue.
Yeah.
That's not fixed.
It's not changing until Jan.
break.
Yeah, that's not.
He hasn't got the tools.
Also, they're all away on international break. How's he going to fix anything?
Okay, so cards on the table moment. Turkish. Worst signing of the summer so far. Milos Kerkez or Florian Wirtz?
So far, Wirtz.
Dave?
This is the hardest one. This is so hard because the money, 120 million, we can't ignore that. You want instant impact. Not getting an assist so far in the league is pretty rubbish for a creative player like Florian Wirtz. The same side, I just hate the signing of Kerkez. I think it's awful. It's an awful signing. But I think pound for pound, they're going to go with Florian Wirtz.
Kerkez.
You've played the game.
I feel like it's Kerkez as well.
Oh, come
Which
on.
means
100
we look now to
130 million
faithful
pound player.
Wirtz isn't a bad signing.
This is amazing. If this
He
was an
just
Arsenal,
isn't a bad
what about
signing.
when Caicedo and Enzo come? The pressure on them, Rice, the pressure on him, Grealish. This is a 120
But yeah,
million player that also plays well for Germany. He's not just some young kid that's getting a big. He's been playing well for years.
Convince me now.
He's
Full house.
He's turned me.
Oh, well done, sir. Good, great work.
That was good, sir.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I feel like there is more. I've seen flashes, but the flashes I've seen aren't enough.
This
He's
is the,
right.
That was
this
weak
is,
from
this
you
is,
two. That
No, but do you know what?
No,
Do you know what?
great play.
It's
Sometimes
right,
you just
mate,
gotta go,
he delivered it, man. He delivered it. He's an orator. I was just like, mate, like Winston Churchill.
Yeah, I'll go fight
him
on the
on the
beaches.
beaches.
Yeah, I'm going.
But yeah, the thing is as well, I sort of believe that Florian Wirtz will be a brilliant Liverpool player, whereas I believe Milos Kerkez is going to be
But
dropped.
we're not
for-
judging that. We're judging so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so far.
And then we
It
touch in
is-
on again in
Okay.
May, April.
Yeah.
see where we're
So far, Florian Wirtz, which now means it's Florian Wirtz versus Viktor Gyokeres.
at.
You sit this one out.
Hey,
I know what you're going to do.
Alright.
Go on, let's hear it. Come on, make
I
your
don't think
pitch.
it's fair that he's in the list.
Yeah, I knew it.
Honestly, I don't.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
same.
mean, 60 mil signing. I know he comes in with a great goal scoring record, top scorer in Europe the last 2 years. But you see how you said, Slot might find a way after an international break. I don't think Liverpool are there with the tweaks. We were before the last international break. It was how do we start creating more chances? Gyokeres in the biggest games wasn't even having a shot. Is that on him or is that on the football? I think over the past year you can say it's the football. But since the last international break, Newcastle,
I thought he
Gyökeres
was good at
didn't
Newcastle.
score, but he was
I thought
good.
he was good at Newcastle.
Bilbao didn't score, should have scored. He was good. And then West Ham didn't score, but he was good. Now, good is not good enough when you want a striker to score 20, but he's got 3 and 7. And, he's on the cusp of it looking like a poor return, 3 and 8, 3 and 9. But he's also on the cusp of making it 5 and 8 if he scores 2
I
on the
feel a bit
weekend.
bad
So
for him in a
it's-
sense of the Havertz injuries killed him in sense of he's had to come in straight away and he's just got to play every minute up front. He's got no respite, has he, Gyokeres, at the minute? And he's a very different player. I watched a lot of him at Coventry and I'm not surprised at what I'm seeing. Like, he is quite clunky, but he's big, he's powerful, he can finish. What disappointed me with like the Liverpool and City game, I thought, get yourself in the game. But at Newcastle, he did it. He was getting his like
It's a different level, though.
Newcastle away is one of the hardest games in the league.
Totally.
poor
But-
physicality.
like, totally. But,
But I just mean,
it is a different level.
Liverpool and City. I was like, he's non-existent. I was like, look at the size. You put yourself about. Just make the runs. You might not get the ball, but make the runs. But at Newcastle, he was doing.
He looked
it.
a bit
was holding
confused
it up well.
in the City-Liverpool game.
Yeah, I
Looked
think
a
he was.
bit-
I don't think he was fit.
Yeah, I
he had
agree.
no pre-season.
Tom, are they not conflicting? I agree with you. He needed to do more in the 2 massive games. You're putting
then-
Newcastle in that kind of bracket, and I don't think that's where it
Newcastle
belongs.
away is probably the 3rd hardest game in the league.
Agreed. It's one of agreed. Going to St James's
But no,
Park
my
is hard,
point
and
is,
I
I
know
was
Newcastle have a bad
disappointed. I was
result there.
disappointed in those 2, and then the 3rd one, he's improved. So maybe he's got more fitness under his belt, more time with the team,
And we're
training.
playing better.
You're playing
We are
a
better
team
football.
that you're playing a team that was struggling, whose back line isn't particularly impressive. The 2 Newcastle.
Oh, come
Newcastle,
on.
No, they've been so hard.
Where were Newcastle in the league when Arsenal went there?
Why are we looking at league tables 4 games in? Like, that's just so silly, isn't it?
Because it kind of
Palace,
gives an indicator.
Palace are 3rd,
This
and Palace
gives us
title
an
contenders.
indicator as to how
team that beat
Newcastle.
us.
Like, didn't Newcastle draw with Leeds United?
They beat us 3 times.
Yeah,
last
away
season.
from home. I want to.
We
St
didn't
James's
score
Park.
against
You don't. You don't
No,
agree.
I'm-
St James's Park isn't the 3rd hardest game in the league.
I think it's a hard. It's an intimidating ground to go to. No,
Other than the Etihad and Anfield.
Old Trafford this season.
no, I agree. Look, St James's Park is a cauldron, no doubt. I totally agree with that.
And they were 1-0 down.
But what Gyokeres was brought in to do, maybe I've got this wrong, but I felt like what he was brought in to do was the Liverpool-Man City games.
I
The
disagree.
Newcastle game less so.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's the
I
game
think he
against
was
the rest of
bought.
the league.
I think if he was fit, Havertz would be playing those games. The top
Think
games.
where we lost the leagues in the 2 we went close. Aston Villa,
Yeah.
West Ham, Fulham.
Yeah, West
Was
Ham.
the biggest
yeah.
games. The first big 6 losses.
Gyokeres
Liverpool
is your
in 2
difference
years.
maker.
He is, but then okay.
He's not though.
But
He's
you know
actually
what? You know
not.
what's interesting to me?
No, they're difference makers.
But you know what's
Saka,
interesting?
Rice.
Make the same argument for Isak that you're trying to make for Gyokeres. You're talking about the biggest game this season and what he done. Newcastle, Liverpool are losing, and Wirtz comes off the pitch. But you were talking about Gyokeres in the biggest games. What about the person we're comparing him to? Wirtz, biggest games or smallest game this season, he hasn't done a thing. Whereas at least Gyokeres has brought something.
Oh
to our
no,
team.
sorry. In terms of this debate, I'm talking about Gyokeres to explore it. I know who I'm voting for
Oh,
already.
it sounds like you're edging.
I know who I'm. No,
Sounds like you're trying to bring the crowd.
here, mate. I'm trying to. That's kind of what I mean. I'm trying to balance it up. No, in terms of the 2, fine. I just feel like this entire conversation has been more generous to Gyokeres than I anticipated.
Oh, but no. By the way, the jury is still out.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Gyokeres.
100%.
I am not saying
Yeah.
this is a great signing. I'm just saying so far, I'm definitely not saying he's been bad or a bad
100%.
signing. I've been disappointed in a few games, but then I've also seen things and I've thought, do you know what? Yeah, he could work here.
It's that classic thing of the team has to adapt to him. The team doesn't play the same way with Viktor Gyokeres, and they should be looking more direct into the channels. I think they play the third fewest long passes in the league. That's something they need to change with someone like Viktor Gyokeres because he's a striker that you want to get the ball. He makes things happen.
But who was the goal when Eze crossed it to him at home against who was it? Forest.
Yeah. That's what
Gyokeres. That's what he because Havertz won't do that.
So there's like tweaks in the game. They need to go more direct into the channels, and they also need to cross to the back post.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing. That goal is a perfect example where they've been looking for cutbacks, so they've been looking to hang the ball up. If they wanted to hang the ball up, I said before on this show, got to be someone back like Benjamin Šeško, but they've got to whip it. He likes to attack the space.
Yeah.
And it's this thing where they're just starting to feel what he needs. And I think that
he needs the penalties as well. I think they should give him the penalties.
Yeah, I think it is his. Saka just took that one for the 200th game.
Do you know what, though, Tom? I sometimes think those pity penalties don't do anyone any
No. He should be the penalty taker.
I think he is. Arteta said it.
That's what I'm saying. He's a brilliant penalty taker.
Fine.
And also, if
they're going to take
even mentally, he could. What's he on? 3 goals.
Yeah.
He could be on 4 or 5 now.
It's
and then
symbolic,
we're
isn't
going,
it? Yeah.
He does make a difference.
Okay, right. We're gonna put our cards on the table now. It's time to vote. Florian Wirtz or Viktor Gyokeres is the worst signing this season.
Wirtz.
Has to be Wirtz in this game.
Sorry, Florian. I think you'll come good, but
It has to be Wirtz. Okay, so there you have it. Florian Wirtz is the worst signing of the season so far and this episode's final one standing. But did we get it right? Let us know in the comments and remember to click the link in the description to play for final one standing's £200,000 jackpot. Thanks again for watching WHFC. If you want to watch us rank the greatest England strikers in Premier League history, click the video that's on screen now. And if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the channel to never miss an episode. This show is brought to you by William Hill, 18+. Please gamble responsibly.